See, my kiddo just got back from a walk. The best words to a scrapper. Just wonder, did they just get bored with it, or? Ooh, a beep. Beeps are always good. It's got some lag in it for sure. But it works. All right, so I figured the best place to start was going to be at the bottom. So I'm just going to go ahead and start unscrewing the feet, and then we can get started on the actual platform itself. And you'll notice that my kid painted my nails. So today on Make It Cozy, we're going to be doing this.
With fantastic makeup.
Because if Eddie has taught us anything, it's that the best element of battle is the element of surprise. So we're basically battling this treadmill. So let's go ahead and get this guy off, right? So forgot about phrasing. Anyway, so like we're gonna go ahead and be taking off these little plastic ding dongs on the side here, these little supports, so you don't like fall off or jack up your stuff. So really what I'm trying to aim for is, as anybody would for treadmill disassembly, is to get to the motor and the actual panel itself. There's also some other stuff that I have some plans for in the future, and we'll see how that goes with some future builds. So here's the main guts of the situation here. You've got the controller, you've got the motor, there's this handy little flap of stuff, which I'm sure will be handy later, so don't throw those away. And then really we just wanted to just take these plastic pieces off. There's really nothing I want to do. I'm pretty sure most of these, if I remember correctly, was just ABS. And if you have like a 3D printer or some sort of recycling capabilities, then like you can use the ABS. But unfortunately for my purposes, I can't really recycle these at home, much to my chagrin, because if you are a fan of this channel, then you know that I like to recycle some HDPE on occasion. Polypropylene is also good, but ABS, not so much. So I'm hitting some snags here, so I'm just trying to like tackle this from both ends. And just want to really be careful because there was electricity in here, so if there's any capacitors or anything like that, you don't want to get zapped. So just make sure that, you know, you protect yourself as such. And then really you just want to just tackle this little by little. And then just make sure that you have full support. If you can work with a buddy, because like some of the stuff is like pretty heavy. And whenever you start giving way to some of the screws and nuts and bolts and everything like that, then like pieces just tend to fall. We'll see that later. A little bit of foreshadowing, but like, you know, no big deal. And everybody's model is going to be a little bit different. So basically just, you know, I intend to this to be like as a guide. Like I had maybe like a few videos where I've seen people like, you know, Jeremy Fielding just going through, taking apart treadmill motors, other folks on YouTube being like, hey, if you want a motor, you can do this kind of stuff. And it's like, you know, pretty dope. So like I figured I'd do that same thing. You also see my impromptu Band-Aid. So, you know, again, just be careful. And again, whenever you're going for these motors, just make sure that, you know, you have a good plan in place in order to keep yourself protected. So one of the other things that I really found interesting that I wasn't really intending to keep was this roller for the actual treadmill tread. So I'm going to be using this like piece of wood is like MDF. The actual band, probably not so much. I'm probably going to wind up getting rid of that, but the rollers themselves, I figured my idea for that is that I could use it to make like an outfeed type of roller for my table saw. So we'll see how that goes. A lot of this structural metal is also good. I intend on kind of breaking this apart and just using this for like maybe some welding projects, or even just like some structural support for like maybe like a tool stand or, you know, something of the such. I intend as a very ambitious project in the future to make my own belt sander for like, to get better at knife making. Because right now I have like the rinky-dink $20 one with like the little 1-inch band. I want to make one like that's beefier and more better. So, you know, famous last words, but we'll see how that goes. And so, yeah, there's a couple of other pieces that like, it just seems like structural aluminum for the like the handrails or whatever that you saw a second ago. Probably it's so curvy and very specific. I don't know what I would use it for, but you know, whatever, we'll see. Right now I just intend on just recycling it. But anyways, fishing all the wires, I want to make sure that like, you know, this is the panel that goes into the brain that goes into the motor. So eventually I want to try to keep everything intact as much as I can, keep all the stuff that I need to. The incline motor that we took out earlier, I'm going to keep it, but it's separated from the actual motor itself. So don't really intend on any kind of, or I don't really have any future projects for that, but we'll see. But here's the panel itself. That's like some big, you know, some big stuff. So let's go ahead and test it out. Oh, I guess it's going through like some sort of self-check. I don't know. It's going through 5 cals? I don't know. Maybe because it's been turned off for so long. But, well, that does that. We've got a little red light right there. Follow my blue finger. Follow my blue finger. Follow my blue finger right there. Let's see. The control board is still all set up. I wonder if it's gooey because it doesn't sense that. I don't know. Because that just came out of the slot here. That's like the linear actuator in there for incline, which I don't really care about. But I got this guy back in the vise.
I got your head in the vise.
The motor is hooked back up. Motor is on there. Red and black are going there. The switch is in line. See, the harness is back here and back there for the control board. I feel like I was forgetting something. All right, so it's funny. You need the little clip dingus. So now let's try this. I took out the linear actuator for the incline, so let's see if this bad boy starts up. Nice. Dope. So like even working solo, I was able to reduce this big machine, this no-name treadmill, down to its basic components. And it took me like an hour. And like I said, working solo, so like it's not even that big of a deal. You guys can do this too. It's surprisingly easy.
I was so surprised. Were you surprised? I was surprised.
So yeah, like I said, like I'm gonna be trying to use some of these pieces, parts in some future builds. So I'd appreciate it if you stuck around. Give me that YouTube love down below. Hit me up in the comments. Tell my my kiddo how good she did, like doing my nails or whatever. Like no judgment on Make It Cozy, you know what I'm saying? So like that's what's up. And with that being said, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace. So it's super easy to take apart a treadmill motor. I mean the motor. That's what's up. If you could hit me up with that YouTube love. Give me that YouTube love. Wow.